What is the difference between a sociopath, a psychopath, and a narcissist? Here to answer this intense question is Dr. Ramani. Help us out here.
Well, it's, again, there's a lot of overlap, but the fact is a lot of people are using these terms interchangeably.
And should they be?
Sociopath, they psychopath. No, they shouldn't. They're
Okay.
different things, okay? One rule of thumb to remember right off the bat. Every psychopath is narcissistic, but not every narcissist is psychopathic. Make sense? There's your key difference. A narcissist is somebody who lacks empathy, is grandiose, is entitled, is constantly seeking validation, is arrogant. It's a disorder of self-esteem, and they have trouble regulating their self-esteem. But when a narcissist does a bad thing, they feel a fair amount of guilt and shame. More shame than guilt, frankly, because they're concerned about how other people view them. Shame is a public emotion. So they don't like being viewed negatively in the public eye or by other people. That's where the shame comes from. But they'll feel a little bad. Like if they cheat on their wife, I probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Psychopath's a different animal. They're all of those things except no guilt, no shame. Wow. They don't feel remorse when they do something bad. Wow. So they're great serial killers. Hired assassins, people who are going to go in and literally sort of gut a business. These are your guys. They're like, I don't care who gets hurt. They'd say that and they'd mean it. Okay, where a narcissist is like, I hope no one gets hurt. Okay? The difference between the psychopath and the sociopath is the one where most people get confused, because the sociopath is a lot like the psychopath. They do bad things and they don't care. Okay? Here's the key difference. A psychopath is born and a sociopath is made. Okay, that's the key. So a psychopath, in fact, we know in the research on psychopathy, which has also been called antisocial personality disorder in our diagnostic manual, these are people who are actually believed to have slightly different autonomic nervous systems. Our autonomic nervous system is actually that part that holds our sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight and flight system. So when our autonomic nervous system for a normal person gets charged up, which it would if we broke a rule, if we did something embarrassing or rude, if we ran through a red light, our heart starts racing. We sweat, our pupils get wide, we look around because we're afraid of the consequence. A psychopath doesn't have that same kind of arousal. That's why they're able to lie on lie detector tests. That's how they get away with it. They don't have that same kind of arousal. So where you or I may go on a roller coaster, feel that sense of excitement, we need to get that arousal in a good way. We don't like feeling it when we do something wrong. They don't feel it.
So do they get stressed?
No, not in the same way.
So if they're driving, because if I'm driving and I see police sirens coming behind me, I mean, it is a full-on, my gosh, I can't believe I'm going to get pulled over. But a psychopath would see that and go, I'm going to get pulled over.
Well, this could be. They could have a dead body in the trunk and they wouldn't change.
And so they pull over, they get the ticket, and they don't care.
No, they don't care.
And they pay the ticket?
And maybe not. They'll even probably get an attorney to get them off or say, yeah, my understanding of your state laws is you can't really be doing this. And they'll be cool as can be.
And this is a difference in their
They're actually
their
how
makeup.
their nervous systems are wired and their brains are. There's actually been interesting research done with PET scans where you can see brain function. And what
Not just a clarification, not PET like dogs and cats, PET scans.
Positron emission tomography scans of the brain, which show brain functioning, if you will. And what they see is that the section of the brain that serves empathy, that doesn't naturally light up in them. And you can actually teach them to be empathic for a minute, but it doesn't last. A lot of psychopaths who commit violent crimes end up in jail, and the ones who commit more like white-collar crimes, I guess they end up as multi-billionaires because they're willing to do really, really rough stuff in their business and get through like a cartel leader or something like that, call for the killings of other people. Now, their interesting counterpart are the sociopaths. Psychopaths born. They tend to, their belief is that they may very well have, this might be genetic. In fact, psychopaths often have fathers who have lots of antisocial tendencies. Now, how much of it is learned, how much of it is genetic, it's a little bit harder to suss out. But we do see that there is that difference in your true psychopath. They also tend to have really glib, shallow charm. They tend to be really intelligent. That's why they get away with stuff. If they were
so they've learned behavior to assimilate into society.
Oh yeah.
But it's all a facade.
It's all a facade. They're so charming.
So if they're born this way, would a 3-year-old then not get stressed out if it got
No.
scared? So that's incredible.
So what we see when we diagnose antisocial personality disorder, which is sort of our diagnostic equivalent of being a psychopath, in order to get that diagnosis, you have to have shown a pattern prior to the age of 15 of things like truancy, violence towards other kids, stealing, skipping school.
And not felt bad about
animals,
it.
Setting fires. They just do it. They don't care. And that before the age of 15. So it's a long-standing pattern. That's what makes us call them a psychopath or having antisocial personality. Now, this is different than sociopathy.
Yes, okay.
Sociopathy, they look a lot like the psychopaths. The difference is they were made. So some examples here. The kid who grows up in a really, 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 really rough neighborhood and learns criminality to get by, or learns to be a bully, or gets involved with sort of like the wrong kids and uses a lot of muscle because that's survivalism, but it's not necessarily always comfortable for them. They just learn it. It's the person who grows up with a father who teaches them the business and teaches them how to break the rules. Would they start sweating and have their heart race if they got pulled over? They might. They may not feel so good about it. They'll be a little bit more uncomfortable with it, but in time they learn it. And it's almost like they get trained in not being as aroused by it. Listen, if you broke enough rules, if you lived under certain conditions of lawlessness long enough, you'd adjust to that new world order, if you will. That's what the sociopath does. And so they're the person who someone who said he was actually a great kid until he got to high school. And then it seems like he got in with the wrong kids. That feels more like the sociopath. Wow. Okay, that's almost like a training that might happen from within the family, within their community, within even the job they get, some cases even within some form of military training.
Have you had sociopaths and psychopaths as clients?
Not really, no. They don't tend to come in for therapy. They don't see any benefit to it. The only time you would tend to see psychopaths or sociopaths come into therapy with any consistency is if they were court ordered. Yep. So
I thought you were going to say couples therapy.
No, God, no. It's because they're court ordered. So the judge will make that a condition of release kind of thing, or they're within prisons and jails and getting some treatment in there.
This is so incredibly fascinating to me. If a psychopath goes to jail, he isn't upset about going to jail?
In some ways, it becomes a cost of doing business. But it's also, they're not happy about it. Psychopaths, and to some degree sociopaths, don't think about consequences. That's why they pull really penny ante silly crimes like holding up a liquor store. Basically, I need $150, here's a liquor store, it's open, let's go get the money, kind of thing. So it's like they act first and think later, so they often don't plan in terms of consequences. That's why they have a tendency to lie, cheat, steal, and they tend to have very inconsistent work histories, because they're not able to hold a job.
Yeah,
aliases. It's definitely it's more of a griftery kind of a space.
So we've talked in previous videos about how to cope while dating a narcissist. If you find yourself dating a sociopath or a psychopath, is there any coping, or you just got to get out?
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble.
That could actually be a very dangerous relationship.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. In fact, even with the narcissistic piece, I've done research and work in the area of domestic violence, or what's also called intimate partner violence. Most people who perpetrate domestic violence are either narcissistic or psychopathic. And so there's a danger there. In other words, they will dispose of you if you get in their way.
I want to share a story with you to get your feedback. This was told to me by a friend, and she said in college she dated a guy for a year, but the guy started to get just a little weird, and they broke up. For the next year, he courted her and did everything she wished he had done the first year. Showed up on time, brought her gifts, blah, blah, blah. They started dating again. He was perfect for a year. They went to Thanksgiving at her family's house. He was perfect to her parents. Just became the perfect man for her because he knew what she wanted. And after a year, on the 1-year anniversary, he broke up with her and said, I've been playing you this whole time because I wanted to crush your heart.
Yep.
I am not actually behaving this way, or this isn't real. I've been faking it for a year just so I can crush you.
Yep.
Would that be
That's more psychopathic.
Psychopath.
That's more psychopathic. Or sociopathic is more likely.
But if they have no, empathy, then why would they want to hurt somebody?
Because empathy is a positive emotion, okay? Wanting to hurt someone is a very antagonistic emotion. Wanting to hurt someone at some level might even give them a little pleasure. Power, for sure.
It's interesting to me that someone cannot be empathetic but then want to hurt somebody, because to me you would have to have the empathy in order to even know what it's like to hurt somebody.
There's a difference between empathy and understanding. You can understand because it's like that's why psychopaths make great salesmen. Because they understand a person. They can read a person and immediately say, I got his vulnerability. I'm going to make him buy a car. Psychopaths are great salesmen. Salesmen of cars, timeshares, all that stuff where they're upselling and almost taking advantage of someone sometimes, making them take on more money and cost of something than they really should. But no, it's that he was able to be superficially charming. Psychopaths and sociopaths and narcissists make great chameleons. They're definitely able to change the situation to get what they want. And psychopaths in particular and sociopaths they view the world as an instrument to fulfill their desires. That's really what they're about, which is what it's awful, because they're going to often discard a partner when they don't have much use for them or expect them to have a very specific role. So they may have married her and she may have had their kids. Now she's going to have to put up with their affairs because they want something else. And too bad if you don't like it. This is the new world order and I will destroy you in court. It's that kind of thing.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's chilling.
I want to leave it right there. I have learned more about sociopaths and psychopaths than I ever thought possible. Make sure you check out as well our discussion about narcissism with Dr. Ramani. Thanks again for being here. For more information on all things mental health, make sure you go to medcircle.com. There you can curate your own list of your preferred mental health topics. It'll be delivered to you exactly when you need it. I'm Kyle Kittleson. Thanks for watching.
All right, kids, welcome to another exciting episode of the original Red Pill Show. Today is Two-Wiener Tuesday, January 20th, 2020. Believe it or not. This show is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please use it at your own risk. This show is copyrighted by moi. No part of it can be reused, rebroadcasted in any way, shape, or form without my written consent. You could just ask, finally. Show's opinionated. That's why I do it. You're going to hear shit here that you're not going to hear anywhere. That I can promise you. This show's opinionated. Hosts, especially me, callers, 815-975. 3089. Call in, say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. People that are naughty in the chat room, guess whatever, are and always will be opinionated. Thank God. Under no circumstances whatsoever should opinions be taken as advice. If you're seeking professional advice, we strongly encourage you to hire a licensed if required person in his or her field there, little Tommy. Hey, man. No. That's his name. Wake up. It's time to make the donuts and listen to this dumbass show. Broadcasting live from the wonderful town of Loveland, Colorado, and on Freedom Revolution Network, where it's a female-owned business. Anyway, what's going on today? The video is fucking up. Of course it is. Of course. Why wouldn't it? What else isn't going to work? It's not me, man. I'm telling you. It's a bandwidth thing. I unplugged this router, Actually, I'm going to talk about this a little bit. So, I have a Wi-Fi router, like most people probably do, and they probably don't know what the hell it is. Well, it's a Wi-Fi connection wireless into your computer and network and all your connection of things, whatever. And you need a password to get in there. But some people just are a bunch of fucking losers and they want to get into your Wi-Fi network, and then they can quite possibly get into your PC, depending if it's on, sleeping, whatever. And anyway, to make a long story short, I just ordered a light timer. An old-fashioned rotary with little switches, dip switches to turn a lamp off. But the timer doesn't know what it's hooked up to. So I'm going to kill my Wi-Fi router when it's not needed through a timer. That'll serve two purposes. It will increase my security, and it's always a good idea, in my opinion and experience, to reboot your router. Your router. There's something screwy going on around here, and that's what it is. So I'm going to reboot my router, too, which always puts everything into perfect working order. And if in doubt, reboot. So that's what I'm doing. But if your router's acting goofy, or if you have bandwidth problems like this, reboot your router. What can I say? All right, so whatever. So that's that. So what else is going on? Where is Marisha? Whoa. Did I scare her away with my little... There she is. Welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order?
Good morning.
Hello.
How are you doing this morning other than having bandwidth issues?
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, the video is I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of... I blame Comcast or Spectrum or who... Do you have Comcast out there? Or, I'm sorry, Xfinity?
Xfinity, that's what I have. Yep.
Yeah. I always had issues with Xfinity.
Well, usually I don't, and I haven't, and they really have taken care of me. They actually sent me a $250 customer appreciation debit card at Christmas.
Wow.
Do you believe that shit? I opened it up and I look at it and I'm like, well, this is from Xfinity and a gift for being a loyal customer or whatever. And, I thought it'd be $25 or whatever. It was $250.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I swear to God. Yep.
They never did anything like that for me, and I had them suckers for years.
Well, I have everything except cable with them, and I'm not subscribing to cable with anybody. But other than that, I got everything else. So.
Yeah, I don't get their. We have Spectrum on this side of the mountain, and they do, however, spend a big fortune on their promos trying to get people to get the TV along with the internet.
Right. Yep.
We get something at least once a week, and it's usually these hard, either cardboard or like really heavy paper cards and ads and things. And it's like, if you guys stop spending so much money on that crap, you could lower our rates.
I am not a huge fan of marketing the way that people have been doing it, like commercials on TV. I don't even watch them, and it doesn't make me want to go buy something because I see a commercial on TV. I don't get it. I just,
I've never understood TV commercials, and I mean, I've been in marketing most of my life. I've sold radio, I've sold outdoor advertising, the billboards and stuff. And those make sense because you're either sitting in your car with your radio, you're listening, you're actively listening. When with outdoor advertising, you're driving past a billboard, you see it. It's part of your vision. But even back when we were kids, what did you do during a commercial? You got up, you ran to the bathroom, you ran to the kitchen. You did everything you could within those 120 to 190 seconds, So nobody was ever paying attention to them.
The only commercials I paid attention to is when the next football game was going to start or just stuff like that. But as far as buying anything and watching it on TV, as far as fast foods or whatever, I could really give a shit. It didn't affect me one bit.
No, not at all. Still doesn't.
No.
I still use commercials to go run around the house and do things.
Well, to be quite honest, most commercials are so fucking stupid now. I just walk away in disgust. I'm like, are you serious? The best commercials, believe it or not, are the insurance ones like Geico and Liberty Mutual. Those are are entertaining. So I like those.
Is the Liberty Mutual the one with the ostrich or the emu?
Yeah, the emu.
Yes, I love those.
You want to hear my idea about that?
Huh?
This just shows the desperation and lack of creativity in Hollywood, or they're not letting it out, whatever. I'm sure there's some really, really creative people out there, but they're not listening to them. They should make a movie with that emu and that guy. Oh,
God. Oh, man, can you imagine? That would be freaking hilarious.
I would laugh my fucking ass off because I'm the one I like the most is when he's pecking at the freaking mirror because he sees himself, his reflection.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's like a 60-second spot at the most. It's like, can you imagine making a movie with just stupid scenes like that and he's a cop, right? He's a detective, right? Isn't he?
Right. Well,
or what is he?
Sort of, yeah.
Well, whatever he is, it seems like they're in law enforcement. Because I remember seeing a commercial where they're trying to figure something out, and he's asking the emo what he thinks, and he's just doing emo things. And he goes, "Yeah, you're right. Good job," And then they write the shit down on a board because they're trying to figure things out. So,
those commercials are freaking awesome.
I really think they should make a movie. Go ahead.
Did you see that they came out with a new Mikey Likes It commercial for Life cereal?
Nope, I didn't.
The only thing I don't like about it, and this is probably one of the few times that I will complain about the whole gender switching or, switching up the role of somebody.
Uh-oh, yeah.
They made Mikey a girl.
Yeah, are you
Since
surprised?
Since when is Mikey a girl's name? I mean, I get it, okay, we're trying to get away from all that kind of stuff. But I was totally expecting to see a short-haired little boy. That messed with me. But I think it's cool that they brought it back, because that was such a huge popular commercial back in our day.
From the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, everybody said that. Try it. Mikey likes it.
Hang on. What is wrong with my computer? Is everything working besides the video?
Well, okay. So the video is working on the original stream just fine.
All right.
So I think it may have to do with your bandwidth this morning.
Okay. Hang on. Listen. If it ever fucking plays. Hello. There we go.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not going to try it. You try it. I'm not going to try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
When you bring life home, don't tell the kids it's one of those nutritional cereals you've been trying to get them to eat. You're the only one who has to know.
There you go.
I love that.
For people don't know.
Oh, that brings back Saturday mornings in front of the TV watching cartoons, man.
You know what? We talked about this the other day. I never noticed. Those kids are from like the Bronx or something, or Jersey or whatever.
Really?
Oh, yeah. If you listen real close, those little kids got their fucking accent.
Oh,
I'm like,
their
whoa.
accents.
Oh, yeah. It's cool.
I never thought about it.
Yeah, no, I just picked it up. I never. Well, I'm from Chicago, so I saw that when I was a kid.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't have picked it up. It's like, oh, they're talking like me. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's probably what I
Yeah.
thought. So I don't hear no accent. What's wrong with you? Wait a minute. Oh, excuse me. Here. I think she likes it. Is this the new one?
Yeah.
Is the new one out?
Yeah, the new one's out because I saw it on the TV. I've only seen it once.
And it's Life Cereal, the same thing?
Yeah, it's still Life Cereal.
Life Cereal commercial. 2000. No. Could that be it?
Let me see if I can find it and I'll send you the link.
I'll play this one. I don't know. Is this it? This is from 2000, not the 70s. God, man, my bandwidth is horrible. Any day now.
Which we are having major solar flares, so it's affecting cell phones, it's affecting
Did you try it?
our
I'm not gonna
computers
try it.
and stuff.
You try it.
Okay, here. Let me play this one. Finally loaded.
I'm not going to try it.
Let's get Mikey.
Yeah.
He won't eat it. He hates everything.
No, it's just him being older.
I found
That's
it.
not it.
I found it.
Did you? Is it on YouTube?
I don't know. Hang on. Okay, wait. Is that it? No, that's pictures. That's pictures. Hang on. Yep, I found it. Okay, I'm sending you a link.
On my phone?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I can't, it won't work if I send it to you on your phone because you can't load it up.
Nope. Is it on YouTube, though? Do you know?
Let me see. Now I know what it looks like at the beginning.
What's the title of it?
Live TV commercial, picky eater proof. Oh, that's on iSpot.
I don't even know what that is.
I can't believe YouTube doesn't have it. That is
I'm not
so
finding
ridiculous.
it. Life TV commercial. Life cereal, I should probably put.
Go. I did a search for new Mikey commercial and then went to videos, and it's the top one, and it's on iSpot TV, iSpot.tv.
New Mikey. Oh, there's Mr. Sharp, Mr. Whipple. Oh my God. Fuck.
That's another one. Oh man. Don't speed the Simon.
What did you tell me exactly? What did you? God, you're taking me back. What did you say to type for the title?
New Mikey commercial is what I put in search.
Mikey.
And then I clicked on the video search instead of the others.
There's new Mikey likes it. Maybe that's it. Yep. Here it is. 16 seconds.
Hello again, Mikey.
Life sure ain't anything healthy.
Oh, it's off the TV.
Oh.
She likes it.
Life cereal. Mikey likes it.
Oh, it's not even. That's not even close to the same
Oh,
one.
well.
Wow. Huh. There's a 15-second
Anyway.
commercial. It's crazy. Yeah, not the
But
same.
yeah. But yeah, they switched it to a girl, which, I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. It was just weird.
Well, it's not even the same commercial. Even no matter the gender, the child actor, it doesn't matter. It's not even whatever. If you're gonna do something, at least rip it off, and be it similar. You know. Like,
Well, it was. They had the kids sitting around the table, and the dad's like pouring the cereal, and
oh, okay.
and the two, the other kids are like, "No, I'm not trying." And then they give it to Mikey, and Mikey likes it. So,
Right.
but Mikey has pigtails, I think.
Okay. Well, whatever. I
Yeah.
It's like some things should still be left alone, and I think that's one of them. But
Yeah.
and once again, it's not going to make me go buy Life cereal because it's a stupid commercial. But whatever.
I eat less cereal anyway. So.
Yeah, I'm never.
And
been,
it wasn't because of the commercial.
The only cereal I eat is grape nuts, and that's it. And it's very rare. So, but whatever. Is anybody ever gonna call? Is anybody listening to us live, or is this all?
Actually, we have Larry and Pam in the chat room.
Okay.
And we do have a call-in number that works. That call-in number that's on the page actually does work. So y'all are welcome to call in.
Yeah, but some people can't look at their phone. So, I mean, and then they can't write it down. Where is that fucking phone? What did they do with it? What is it? 815-975. What is it?
815-975-3089.
There you go. 3089. So call that. Somebody call. Someone be the first caller, damn it.
We haven't had an actual guest yet.
Well, they're not a guest, they're a listener. So, I mean, I know what you're saying.
Well, yeah.
We just haven't had anybody besides you and I talking on this stupid fucking show. And I want people to call. It's so much more fun. It really is. And honestly, I just don't. If I was listening to this, I just don't want to listen to you and me. No offense to either one of us. I don't, because that's what I'm waiting for. All they do is just talk like they're talking on the phone to each other. It's like, well, you know what? Then why don't you pick up the fucking phone and call and get into conversation, because that's what it's about. And I really necessarily wouldn't argue with that opinion, because if I listen to radio or other radio shows or whatever, that's what it sounds like to me too. But there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
No.
And I mean, that's how most morning shows are, really, when you listen to them, because they just banter back and forth.
Yeah, unless there's 3 or 5 of them. You got the radio personality, the sidekick, the sports person, the weather person, the news. There's at least 5 freaking people that are usually in it. So.
true.
Yeah, and they all bounce off of each other. And on top of that, then you got music and commercials, and then you have people calling in. I mean, it's endless. But this right now is you and I, which is fine, but I'm just saying, call in.
We'll start getting call-ins soon, I'm sure.
And
by the way, that intro, that was freaking awesome.
I was waiting for a comment on that. Before we get into that, I can't sign into the chat room.
I have an email into support about people who log in as guests.
Yeah, right.
We're having some random issues with it. What is it doing for you?
Okay, so I'll just type something. Hello, HELLO. Hit send. Then the little sign-in thing pops up, and it automatically logs me in as guest. And then it goes right back to the screen, and I'm not there. My comment's not there.
Weird. Okay, that's the exact same issue that others have been having.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've got an email in about it.
See, and I'm missing.
So hopefully they will get back soon.
I'm missing these conversations. Larry Smith.
Larry Smith is actually down in Belize.
No way.
Yes.
Well, I want to be best friends with him because I want to go to Belize. I hear it's absolutely fucking beautiful down there.
I've had some awesome conversations with Larry. And, yeah.
That's one of the few countries.
Yeah, they have a compound down there.
Oh, do they? That's interesting you just said that because, it got back to me through people back in Illinois. Fuck, I'll just tell the whole story. From my son. And I've been buying dry storable food ever since, after the meltdown. And at that time, I had a whole family. Well, not a whole family. Me and my wife and my son. Then he went into the Army. But anyway, I kept buying it because the shelf life on it's usually 20 years, dehydrated food.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, when my whole life fell apart and I was a gypsy and I didn't have a place to live and I moved 6 times in the past 2 years, I had to put all that food in somewhere because I'm not throwing it away. It's expensive. So I shoved it at my sister's house because she said I could move in with her, and then she changed her mind because she has teenagers. So, and I know the reason behind that, because if I would have lived with her, I would have straightened her fucking kids out in 2 seconds. So she's one of those moms that doesn't want to upset her children. And I could really honestly give a shit if I had upset my kids. If you're being a little asshole, you're gonna know. You're gonna, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, you're not behaving like that. You're just not. So anyway, so I put some in there, and then she goes, "You can't move here," and I literally forgot about that. And then I put the rest of it in my parents' house when I was in Chicago over the holidays. And the first thing my mom said is, "Can you really get rid of this food?" And I'm like, "Ma," I'm like,
"Why?"
I don't know. I don't know what the big fucking deal is. God damn it! Their basement is like 1,500 square feet. It's huge, and I'm taking up maybe, I don't know, 20 square feet, 20 by 5, maybe 100 square feet, if that. And it's like, it's like I put packs of dynamite and fucking drugs and all this other stuff in their house, and they're like, "Can you please get rid of this stuff? I don't want it here." I'm like, what in the fuck am I? I'm 1,000 miles away. What the fuck do you want me to? I didn't say this to my mom, but I'm thinking out loud here. Like, what do you want me to do? You want me to drive my car another 1,000 miles just to get this stuff, or go get a rental place here in Illinois for $50 and put it there? Because that ain't worth all of it, and I will throw it out. But you're throwing out food. So then I finally...
Yeah, I can't understand that.
I don't know, but it got back to me again through my son, because they were all out for my son's birthday Saturday, and they all celebrated it last weekend. And my sister brought up to my son, can you come get that food out of here? Your dad brought it. And Josh is like, no, I'm not fucking doing that. And then my mom or dad goes, well, you're not bringing it to our house. We got enough of that shit here. And I'm like, what in the fuck? What is the big deal? So anyway, when my mom and I were having this conversation, she's like, can you get rid of this? I go, Mom, what's going to happen when Nancy Pelosi bangs on your door and wants your guns away from you and it's martial law? And she didn't say anything. Not that they have guns, but it was just the whole point of what happens. Forget the prepping thing and it's the end of the world, because I just was on InfoWars and that type of land is being purchased left and right. People are starting to freak out again about heading for the hills. And I think it's because of this coronavirus, which I will talk about it. I don't really want to. I want time to play out here, because every time a virus comes up, everybody's going to die. So it's like,
Well, yeah.
So I don't want to sensationalize it.
Yeah, the big thing is, this one is man-made, and that I think that's why people are freaking out more.
Oh, you mean like Lyme's disease? Like that kind of man-made thing?
No, I didn't know Lyme disease.
Oh, yeah, allegedly, yeah.
But yeah, and by the way, we are actually going to start advertising for Patriot Foods.
Patriot Foods, good. I bought that. It's good stuff. It really is.
Yeah, I was looking at their site. They've got some packs that are just amazing. They've got like this $500 pack that's got a little solar battery charger thing and water purifier, all kinds of stuff in there along with the food.
Well, here's my ideology or thinking process on this, because I'm a fighter and I'm gonna do what I can to survive until within my power until I can't. And people are like, well, if it gets that bad, do you really want to live? And I'm like, you know what? I don't really fucking know, because I don't know what the scenario is gonna be. I mean, if a nuke is launched over here, we're going to be the first to go here in this part of the country. I mean, we're ground zero.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure most of them are aimed for Colorado, Wyoming, parts of Nebraska, wherever the missile silos are. Cheyenne Mountain, we're done. We're fucking done.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I first moved to Colorado Springs and realized that Cheyenne Mountain was like right there.
Yep.
And it was like, well, if we ever get bombed, we're going to be gone.
Right.
At least it'll be instant.
And that's my thinking process, because, I mean, really, you're going to get, I don't want to be just like asking to die or people taking this the wrong way, but, are you really going to feel anything at 4,000 degrees and vaporize or whatever the temperatures are? I mean, you're not. It's going to be over, like kaboom, like an ignition. You're done.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that's the worst case scenario. But let's just say natural disasters. Let's say this coronavirus gets so bad everybody's quarantined and locked down. How much food do you have to last? Because most people, maybe it's a week.
If that.
Right.
Honestly, most people, they buy the groceries for whatever their payday span is.
Right.
And that's it.
Well, if you're locked down, you can't go to the grocery store, and the trucks can't go to the store to deliver it. So we're just so brainwashed in the ease of convenience that, okay, it's martial law, but I'll run down to Safeway and get some groceries. It's like, no, you dumb fucker. You can't go anywhere, and they don't have any food because the trucks are stopped. And it's probably going to get looted anyway. I mean, the whole point of it is I don't know what's going to happen, how people are going to react, but there's nothing wrong with preparing at least in the food sense, to feed you. And if you don't really care about yourself, then do it for your fucking kids, or your wife or whatever, and your dog and your pets. I mean, you're a protector and provider. That's your role. So, buy the food for them and starve your fucking ass. I don't really care. But you're responsible for taking care of the people under your roof. And I think this is part of that.
Oh, I agree completely. I've always been a bit of a prepper. I'm always, which, I mean, my goal is to be off grid anyway. So.
Yeah, that's a big thing right now, trying to get people off the grid. A lot of them are doing it. And supposedly that's a long-term plan. Everybody is to get people off the grid, but I don't know. I don't.
Well,
I don't know what
my
to
goal
believe.
is to actually get some land and set up I've been planning this community for like 15 years, and love you. And I want a place where people can come to escape everything,
Yep.
And regardless if it's just life in general or an actual disaster of some sort.
Well, I was told by a certain somebody that that's the long-term goal in getting off the grid, and each house is going to have like a hydrogen-powered generator to power the house. There's going to be no more power plants.
That would be nice.
Yep. And there's going to be.
I'm sorry. I'm one of those people. I don't like the whole power plant thing. I've never felt real secure with nuclear energy and things like that.
Not after 3 Mile Island. I'll never forget that. In 1979. I was 15 years old. I remember that like it happened yesterday.
Yep, I was 10 years old.
And then Fukushima, look at that. I still don't care what they say. That shit's still leaking into the fucking ocean. So.
Well, they admit it's still leaking.
I know, but they don't
admit they're freaking dumping it.
They don't tell you that, and it's pretty much contaminated everything up until Alaska as far as sea life. So, but they don't report on that. So.
No, and it's killing our oceans, and once our oceans die, we're screwed.
Oh, absolutely.
We're just screwed.
Yeah, but they won't report on that. So I don't know.
Of course not.
But again, I don't think there's anything wrong with prepping, and I actually have a little bit of food. I don't really honestly know, because when I moved here, my head was in my ass, and I played that. We can get into this if you want. The beginning of that thing about a sociopath, because it popped up again last night. And to be quite honest, it keeps taking me, I don't want to say in dark thinking, but I just don't want to keep getting pulled back into it. But I want people to know about it, because I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know what was happening to me. And like I said, I know what a psychopath and a narcissist, not a psychopath. Yes, I'm sorry. It gets confusing. A sociopath and a narcissist, I know that, but I had no idea whatsoever what a sociopath was. I didn't. I think I knew of the term by hearing it or seeing it in movies or whatever, but as far as experiencing it in real life, with 1 degree of separation right next to me or whatever, no, I've never done that. And people don't know it until it's too late. So that woman explains it as best.
She explained it really well.
Yeah, as best as I've ever. But it's way more than that. But just to wake people up a little bit, because that's what this show's about. To say, whoa, I know somebody like that, or my boyfriend's like that, or my girlfriend's like that, or my stepdad's like
my
that,
mother.
or my mom, or what. I will bet you any amount of money, because they say sociopaths, here we go, I'm going to speak. Sociopaths are like 1% of the population, and I really think that's a low number. I think there's more people than that.
Even when you think about that, though, 1% of our population, that's a whole lot of them.
It's too many, whatever it is. I'll agree with you there. But they're so intrinsic and latent. Most of them aren't even discovered because people don't know what's happening to them. And then the victims think they're fucking nuts. And unless you have a really good... My therapist identified it in 5 minutes. He goes, you let a sociopath in your family. I go, what the fuck is that? And he told me, and I'm like, oh my God. Then I did my homework on it, and I'm like, whoa. Whoa.
I've done therapy a few different times, trying to get myself figured out and
Good
get rid
luck.
of all these
Yeah.
anxiety issues.
Good luck
and
with
stuff.
that. Yeah, go ahead.
And back in it was mid-90s, I was seeing a military therapist because I was married to a guy in the military. And she's the one who put the seed in my head about my mother. And she just kept asking me, like, why do you put your mother on such a high pedestal? And I never could answer her directly. And I tried to blow it off. But because she planted that seed, it made me start really paying attention to the way she acted. And it definitely pulled her off the pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. She fell off that pedestal and hit hard.
Mm.
And I thought it was interesting that you played that this morning because, as you know, yesterday was my grandma's birthday.
Right.
And she and I are kind of the black sheep of the family right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all due to her.
To your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I called my grandma last night and of course, she was extremely upset because it was her 89th birthday and she couldn't even talk to her own kids. Her own kids didn't even acknowledge her.
See, that's what scares the hell out of me, and that's very sad. I'm sorry to hear that. But that lady even said, who's a therapist and everything and knows all about sociopaths, the guy said, what do you do when you find out you're dating one or whatever? And she said, run pretty much,
run,
stay away. But see,
run and hide.
But the thing is, they're so clever. Because what happened to me is he infiltrated my family. I didn't know what was going on. I invited him with open arms. Diagnosed by my therapist, not me. And that's how I got into this crazy world. Not that it's crazy enough of sociopathy. And in the beginning, there's so many signs that I saw, but I didn't know what I was seeing. Does that make any sense?
Oh, totally. Totally.
Because I'm pretty smart and I've had plenty of psychotherapy myself. Plenty. And I can read people and everything else and blah, 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 blah. Something was off with this guy. I didn't like him from day one. The thing is, neither did my wife and then my daughter. And the thing about him is that when they realize they're being identified or the lights being shown on them, they change, like that woman said, or the guy said. I have a friend that dated a sociopath and it didn't work out, and then he changed everything to be who she wanted, and then exactly a year later said, I fooled you, I did this, and go fuck yourself. That's what they do.
Yeah.
When they start getting called out, they turn into a chameleon. See, but he didn't fool me. But then my wife at the time wanted him out of the family. My daughter was going to divorce him. He was talking to his ex-girlfriend, among other things that I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so he was being called out. Well, then he worked for me, and a customer told me, oh, and I love, I don't want to bring his name up, but I love Blanky, I'll call him Bob. And we just had these great conversations about this and about that, which had nothing to do with work or taking care of my customer. It was personal things. So This guy's married to my fucking daughter, so that was it. So I went and I told my daughter, and then she apparently confronted him, and then that is when I became the mark.
Yep.
And since then, he's too much of a coward to say something to me. He went right into my wife's head and then even more into my daughter's head, and he turned into the chameleon. He's the good guy. He's the victim. Look what Tim's doing to me. And then that's when this alleged video came up that I was out with friends and I was on a double date. And that's the only thing my wife had to see, and I was cooked.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't know.
Was...
But I didn't know what was going on.
Well, of course not.
And it's
because they keep everybody separated, and they make sure that all their conversations are one-on-one, so that way they have deniability.
well, here's the scary part, though. He was in the restaurant with supposedly a friend at the time. Instead of coming up and saying hi to me, there was a video showing this because it was showed to my wife at the time, and that was it. A scorned woman and betrayal, seeing a video of your husband, that's all it took. That's all it took. It probably didn't come from the restaurant because I looked into it, and it could not be obtained without a court order. So that means that probably he took the video with his cell phone. Now, what kind of fucking person would do that?
Well, yeah.
A sociopath, that's who.
You know, when she was talking about that whole part about they won't go to therapy unless they have to.
Right. Compliance.
When I was 15, I actually asked my mom to take me to therapy because I thought I was losing my mind.
That's what. Thank you. Exactly.
And she refused. Her answer to it was, if you think you're crazy, you're not.
Yeah. No, you are going insane.
Crazy people don't recognize when they're crazy.
No,
Sane people do.
You are going.
And it's like, okay.
You are going insane, and that's what you don't understand. And then it's pushed to a deeper level. Because I was almost there.
Oh, yeah.
And then the anxiety kicked in, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I went to therapy, and it was all revealed to me. And then it was like a light went off, and I'm go, oh, my God. Now it all makes sense. But most people can't figure that out. And when my family, when my wife and my daughter were betraying me, and then taking the side of him and making me the bad guy, and I'm a piece of shit because I'm double dating on my wife and blah, 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 blah. Then they tried to get my son to turn, and he started to, and then he backed off, and he didn't. But they almost got him to turn against me too. So when your trusted own family blood starts turning on you, and a total stranger comes in and can do that to your family and to you, you go fucking crazy, man. You go crazy.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Because it's like, there's no way. That's my family.
Yeah, it's hard to accept that your own family can treat you that way.
Not only accept it even can happen. I mean, I know that's the same thing, but that's just like, that's like you walk outside and you start floating away. Well, wait a minute. The laws of gravity don't allow that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, this should not be happening. What's going on? And that would make someone go batshit crazy too. Go walk out your door and start floating up to the sky. What the fuck? I mean, what's going on? That's how surreal and just like, and of course you're in like, no, not my family. They got my back. That's my wife of 27 years and my daughter. And no, we've been through hell and blah, 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 blah. No, that's exactly what's going on. Yep. That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be, well, it is very traumatic.
It's the worst thing I ever been through. I mean,
here we are, at 50, and we realize what's happened, but we still sit back and go, how do I deal with this?
Well, you can't. I mean, the only way you can deal with it is to recognize it and calling it out for what it is. Because here's the thing. When you start doing that and you start calling it out for what it is, then people think you're crazy anyway. But then when you figure it out and call it out for what it really is, now you're really fucking nuts. And in reality, you're gaining your sanity back because you're figuring it out.
Right. Right.
Yeah, well, that's fucked up, man.
Like the whole, whenever you confront them thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I confront her, that's when she cuts me off completely.
Yeah.
And I haven't talked to her in August. It'll be 2 years now.
Well, without getting too
on this round, the last one was like 7.
Well, you don't know how close I am to, if anybody is he's starting to infiltrate my mom and dad and my sister and my nieces and nephews now. And that's only because I told my daughter to get right with her grandparents because she was withholding my parents' great grandkids from them because of the divorce because she sided with their mom. And I still haven't seen them in 5 years. I haven't seen either one of them, the grandkids. But when that happened, then of course she's married to Mr. Wonderful, and then he's of course getting back in there, and I'm sure he's pulling the same tactics he did with my wife and saying all that. I've caught him lying. But the thing about these people is nobody wants to make them accountable. I think of them like mass murderers. I really do. I mean, you destroyed my family without physically killing people, but you destroyed the bond and the trust and all the mental things in the family structure without harming anybody. That's how I look at these people. It's just total destruction of who they target.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's and the control factors.
That's what it's all about.
Just beyond.
That's what it's all about. Power and control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and times that I have absolutely desperately needed help, I've had a back turned. And times when I was doing okay, I got offered help. Mm-hmm. But if I accepted the help, it was always held over my head.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
you
right.
know?
Yeah. Well, then they shouldn't have offered it to you. If you're going to use it as leverage.
It's all part of the narcissistic, sociopathic control.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, my ex-wife just thinks this guy is just, well, she picked him above her own husband with marriage vows and didn't like him in the beginning. That's what dumbfounds me. Didn't like him at all and saw what he did to my daughter and just, then he played the chameleon game. But he knew he knew he wasn't going to fool me. There's just no way. So, well, what did something happen to your mom traumatically to turn her into a sociopath, or?
No,
because they say that's
definitely not.
They say
she
that.
was, since being back in contact with my grandma because she had gotten us to separate. My grandmother was actually convinced that the work that I do as a online operations manager, that I was doing things illegally.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Helping to build people's business, I was doing something illegal, and she was convinced of it.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
So through the reconnection, we've both been sharing our stories, our side of what has gone on for the last 50 freaking years. And it's really eye-opening when you get two people who have been under attack by somebody like that
for years, right?
And they finally have that conversation.
Yeah.
And their minds are just blown.
Right.
Because it's just like we have lost all these years.
Yep.
Because somebody else was feeding us lies and keeping us separated.
And that's exactly what they do. Yeah. And I never thought in a million years anything would destroy my family unless it was something that I really did, like cheated on my wife or fucking was just an asshole or all the above or whatever, like a narcissist or even a psychopath for that matter. But it didn't. I didn't do anything. And it was all circumstantial. And it just amazes me. And quite honestly, it keeps me at bay with getting in a relationship with somebody again. Because if somebody can come in, a total stranger, and destroy a tightly knit Brady Bunch fucking very happy family and destroy all that by just circumstantial stuff, then I don't want to take that risk again but it's because of the person I picked. My wife had some issues forever and obviously still does because she's weak-minded and insecure. So, but if I pick the right woman, because if I would say, listen, if this happened, what would you do? And if she doesn't say nothing short of, I would tell him to go fuck himself. And you know what? Let's get Tim in this conversation, what you're telling me. That would be the normal, healthy response. But no, it was all kept from me. Yeah. I had no idea what was going on. It was all hidden from me. So I really don't want to take that chance. If there's people out there that can come in and do that to my family.
How are you to guarantee yourself that you're not going to get fooled?
You can't. You can't.
Exactly. Hence why I've been single for over 10 years now and not even dating.
And they're very yeah, right. And that's how I am too. It's been 2 years, you know, and I wish it was longer, to be perfectly honest, but 2 years for me. And it's just like, I can't, you know, I did it the last time here for a 10-day stunt, but then that just was even crazier, believe it or not. And it's like, you know, what's the chances of me, you know, it's just, I must attract crazy people. I mean, I'm being honest. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what it is.
It's one of the big things about narcissists and sociopaths and all of that whole genre of people is that they target strong people because that is such an accomplishment to them.
Right.
To be able to take a strong person.
Exactly.
And tear them down.
And destroy them. Right. And that's exactly what happened.
And absolutely destroy them.
That's right.
It's such a major accomplishment for them.
And I tell everybody
that somebody who's not as strong is gonna, you know, it's like it's too easy.
Yeah, no, I was very strong, but see, I guess my weakness was I trusted my wife and my daughter, which people would say,
I wouldn't call that a weakness.
That's what I was just gonna say. People will say there's nothing wrong with that, Tim. Well, okay.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. It's by default. Once again, walking out the door, and gravity's going to keep your ass to the ground. I can guarantee you when I'm done with the show and I walk out that fucking door, I'm not going to float off into space. That's the same thing. No. I can guarantee you my wife and my daughter and my family have my back. But you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I walked out the door thinking that, and I floated away. And I'm like, what in the fuck is going on?
And people who look at it from the outside, who aren't directly involved, they don't understand it.
No, they can't.
They just cannot comprehend what's going on.
Well, once again, it's like me telling you how it is to be pregnant in childbirth. Ain't gonna happen. It's never gonna happen. So I don't get it. I can pretend I can get it and I understand it, but unless you're in, see, and that's the thing, and that's their advantage, because they know that you know that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? They know they're going to come at you and you will have no idea what's happening to you. They know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they manipulate you from the beginning.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And my son and I were talking about this, and he goes, you know, when did mom and when did our family start falling apart? And I said, when my son-in-law came into our family, that's when it started. And that's exactly when it started.
Yeah.
And the meltdown didn't help in that, but I didn't lose everything because of that. I actually recovered from that. I lost everything because my wife betrayed me and turned my back on me and sided with a complete stranger who is a sociopath. And she still has his back. Not to mention, I don't want to make this about her. When I was still talking to her a year ago, she was thrown into court in a deposition with her current husband's ex-wife because they got a bunch of money, and she wanted to know where it was from, and it was fucking from me. So his ex-wife pulled my ex-wife into court, and they had a deposition, and he was doing some naughty things. She just reconciled with him. I don't get any of it, but I don't want to talk about that. I want to just say this, is that after the deposition, her husband's ex-wife came up to my ex-wife and said, by the way, you married a sociopath.
Wow.
So there you go. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if she attracts them. I don't know if she, I don't know. But if there's not that many out there, then how in the fuck did you befriend one? Yeah, how did you find two within a matter of a few years? You know?
Yeah. we seem to be magnets for them. But
I
we're
don't
both
know.
really strong personalities, too.
Well, she's
So-
very weak, though. She's very unless, of course, you're me, and she says the words, "I'm going to destroy you." I mean, that's what she said. She can be strong when she wants to be, but she's a pretty meek, insecure person.
Yeah.
She's low. She's
Most of it.
low-lying fruit. Especially when I'm not there to protect her, which is apparent. So she's open to the world now, and she's really finding out what it is, but she hasn't realized it yet. But yeah,
And hopefully she will.
No, she won't.
just
No,
for
she
her own
won't.
sake.
No, she won't. She'll sacrifice herself before she figures that out or does anything about it. So
Yeah.
that's why I gave up. I just told her, I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to disavow anything to do with you. Or if I talk to you, I don't know you and I don't know this woman. And it's like, you wasted 30 years of my life. I wish I could have it back. And I'm done. Don't ever contact me again. And it's and for me to say that to the woman that I married and had 2 kids with for 27 years, that just tells you how bad it is or was or whatever.
Oh,
So-
yeah. And, I mean, the effects of going through those traumas, it affects every area of our lives.
Oh, absolutely. It's a bomb. It's collateral damage
picked up-
bomb that goes off.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
And I picked up a new client yesterday, and while we were talking on the phone, we just were jibber jabbering and getting to know each other, and I brought up the fact that I have a huge guilt complex, especially when it comes to my work. I work, from the time I get up in the morning until the time I go to bed. And I can't even sit and watch a movie without feeling guilty about not being on my computer and doing something productive.
That's ridiculous.
And that comes directly from the abuse that I got from my mother. Because I was always told how lazy I was and things like that. And so now it's so ingrained in my head that I constantly have to be productive that I can't even sit down and enjoy a movie and sit still.
Yeah, that's control and power. And did she ever call you a loser?
Oh, I could give you a whole list of names.
No, I don't care. I don't care about though. I don't care about any of them. Did she ever call you a loser?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I've been called like trash.
Wow.
I've been called all kinds of things.
You know what? No offense to you, but fuck your mother. You know, you
Oh, no offense taken, dude.
Yeah, I mean, when I say that, people are like, "Oh my God, this guy's a real asshole. He just told someone to go fuck his mother." You know what? You have to walk away from that kind of stuff, which I know you did. I'm not telling you nothing you don't know or you haven't done. But to disengage from your own mother is just, it's like you don't do that. Well, I know it destroys you, but we're trained that no matter what, family stays together, know how fucked up it is, and you don't walk away from your mom or your dad or your son or your daughter or whatever. You just don't do that because you're family and you are supposed to stick around for that abuse. It's almost like being in a chemical dependency relationship or a child of an alcoholic, which I am. So my dad was a drunk.
It definitely is.
Yeah, and it's like, but being a kid and a minor, what are you going to do? Move out? You can't fucking, you can't do anything. So you just have
to.
You have to be strong enough, but that's just the normalized complacency, which is the lack of a better term. You don't know any better or any different. That's normal for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we grow up with, and even though in our hearts we know it's not right, there is something just not right about this situation.
Right.
There's nothing we can do about it.
Except leave.
I ran away when I was 15.
No, I'm not surprised.
And I got picked up by the police, and I was given the choice of going home or going to adult jail.
Well, juvie home or home? Great. Whatever.
I chose jail, but they still made me go home.
Oh, Jesus. That's bad.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Well,
at 15, I wanted to go to a adult women's jail rather than go home. That right there should have told the cops something.
I'll tell you what, at a point in my life, because I was around that age, 15, and I ran away, but I just lived with a friend for a couple of weeks. But if I would have gotten in trouble with the law and they would have said that, I probably would have said the same thing, because it was just so fucked up. My dad was a fucking asshole. I mean, he wanted to beat the hell out of me. And one time, and I'll share this. I don't care. I'm writing a book about this shit anyway. But one time, my dad had me by the neck in the garage and was ready to hit me. And my mom said, if you hit him, we are done. See,
my mom sat and watched it.
Yeah. See, that when it gets to that point in the physical abuse, which is not as bad, believe it or not, in my opinion, as the mental abuse. I'd rather have someone beat the shit out of me. But when you have both of them, it was a matter of control and submission, and my dad's resentment of, because I think he treated me like that because I wasn't his kid, because he treated my sister totally different. But there was some resentment and anger in him about me, and when he came home drunk every night, and then of course I'm a 15-year-old teenager, not listening to him. Of course I'm not going to listen to you. I'm a fucking 15-year-old. Give me a break.
Right.
You know? Well, how come you
15-year-old listens to anybody?
I told you to cut the grass and you didn't cut it. Well, Dad, I'm sorry. I was all busy playing with my friends. I mean, whatever. You know, I'm a fucking 15-year-old. Give me a break. But to kick someone's ass or beat them because they didn't cut the grass or whatever I did, and it was just stupid shit like that, not cleaning my room, whatever. Oh, yeah. It was a control, and he tried to submit me into submission. And I made the stupid mistake of going to work for him, too. And it just got, his partner was a narcissist. And I didn't know what that was either. You talk about a just mean-tempered, flying off the handle, yelling at fucking people. That was this guy. So then I was exposed to that. And it was horrible. But he tried pounding me into submission, too. And it's not going to happen. You are not going to break me. You're going to have to kill me. You're not breaking me
off.
Well, but then you got to deal with that anger, and what do you do with that? Except try to use it to motivate.
Especially when you're 15.
But yeah, well, and then I just started drinking, and I went to the bar with my dad when I was 21 because again I didn't know any different. If you can't beat him, join him. You know, so. Mm-hmm. And plus, we would drink with them when we were minors, and we were playing cards, and my friends would come over because our house was the house where the kids came over because my parents were cool, you know. So I mean, it was, you know, and my mom was just oblivious, though. My dad was the one that was cool in that respect for that. But yeah, I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And I'm not making excuses.
How are you supposed to? It's all you know.
Yeah, I'm not making excuses. I didn't know any better. I thought that was the way it was.
Yeah. And that's how most people who go through abuse are. You know, they don't realize that they're not the ones at fault.
No. But then when you have negative consequences for your own actions and things aren't right and you just know they're not right, but you don't know why, then that's when you start rebelling even more. And it's like, wait a minute, this isn't right. And then you got to break away from your family to, I did that. I didn't talk to my parents for 10 years because after I got done working for him, I worked for somebody else and they fired me. And then I started my own business. And then he actually threatened me because my dad was in the same industry. Yeah, he threatened me.
Wow.
So it's like, really, gee, thanks, Dad. I mean, treat me like shit. Don't take care of me.
Support, dude.
Yeah. I'm literally writing a book, but it's I don't want to say the title because I don't want anybody stealing it, but it's not. It doesn't focus on this stuff. It's just I'm going through it from the time I got out of high school and then married and kids and blah 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 blah. Because I'm not going to put my childhood into it because it's like, how many times is everybody going to blame their childhood? Well, you know what? I'm not blaming it. It's just the fucking way it is. Okay, that was my reality.
It's part of everything.
Yeah, but. Be that as it may, I'm starting from when I got out of high school or right in high school to get married and have my kids and working and start my business and being successful to being destroyed. And the last chapter is called Rocky Mountain High, which is moving here. And there probably won't be a happy ending because it depends on how you look at it, but it's not.
Well, I think the ending, honestly, I think the ending should be to be continued.
Well, that's what it's going to be because it's still work in progress or whatever, you know. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's something that should be shared, just like this show, because I've never heard anybody talk about sociopaths ever. It's always on a movie, and it's a crazy guy that's going around, from what I remember, killing people, but they're not that stupid. That's more of a psychopath. But they're very intrinsic. They rarely get caught breaking the law, among everything else. But they got a smile on their face when they go. They should be secret double agents. That's what they should be, because they would be perfect for that. Right. I destroyed both countries. I don't give a fuck. You know, that's how they would be.
Well, and I mean, if you think about it, that's exactly what they do on a smaller level.
I know. That is right. But the bigger the prize, the bigger the gratification.
Yeah.
Just like you said, I never dreamt in a million years somebody would take me down from the inside, because I was too worried about the outside. You know, the people that competition and this and that and everything else. I wasn't worried about the people I was protecting and giving a job and providing for. I never thought that in a million years.
You know, one thing I will say that is actually, in my opinion, a positive that comes out of those of us who go through those situations is we have far more empathy. We truly take care of those around us.
Yep.
We do whatever we have to do to make sure that those around us are protected and safe and happy and healthy.
Right. Yeah, I do too. And I can spot one after 3 times talking to them. But see, when I meet somebody, I'm like, I don't go, I wonder if they're a sociopath. That's not what I'm doing. You know, it's like, but then if I start hearing things that resonate with what I've heard in the behavior in the past from a sociopath, it's going to throw some red flags. And then I'm going to wait for some time to go by. And I can guarantee you from that point, 3 or 5 more times being around this person, I can definitely tell you if they are or they are not.
Oh, yeah. My kids definitely, by the time that they were teenagers, knew that if mom said she got a weird feeling off of somebody, to watch them closely, if not go ahead and just get rid of them.
Yeah, your gut.
Because it never failed that they would prove me right.
Yeah, right. I know. My sister, nobody knows who she is for the most part. She was dating this guy for 4 years, and my sister's losing her business. And she called me, and she never calls me, but she goes, oh, by the way, I don't want to say his name, but my boyfriend broke up with me. And I'm like, you know what, Tammy? I never liked the fucking guy since the day I met him.
Yeah. And that's one of the worst parts is when you see somebody else going through it. You can only say so much without ending your relationship with that person.
Exactly. Right.
Because they have to recognize it in order for them to actually take action. And until they actually fully recognize it, they're going to think you're off your rocker.
You know what it's like? It's like if you have a very close couple friend and you find out by them telling you that they're fucking around on their spouse. Now, what do? Do you shut your mouth or do you tell the other person? Either way, you're fucked. Because if they find out that you knew and you didn't tell them, you're an asshole. But then if you do tell them, they're going to go, oh, no, what are you trying to do? You're trying to break up my marriage and blah, 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 blah. What, do you want my husband? Do you want my wife? You can't win. It's that type of scenario. You can't win no matter what you do.
Yeah, it's a no-win situation whenever you're presented with facts.
Right.
And it's something that you already know they're not going to want to believe.
So the best thing when you identify a sociopath, if you got that confirmed, is just walk away. Don't associate. That's all, because no one's going to believe you. I'll tell you a funny story about something like this. So I've known this girl since she was a baby, 2-3 years old, friend of the family, daughter, whatever. Hell on wheels, redhead. I always tell her she's Satan's daughter, but she's got a good heart. Oh yeah, man, she's like Timothy, and she'd fucking. But really a great heart. But don't fuck with her. She had an over-domineering father, which just hardened her even more. So they always got into pissing matches. So that's the type of personality she is. So I told her the day you get married will be the end of the world. So one day she goes, I'm getting married. And I said, oh, okay, it's the end of the world, but congratulations, whatever. So I met her fiance. Right off the bat, my gaydar goes off. The guy's gay. There's some gay tendencies into this. Okay, it's like your gut. Some people have it, some people don't. It's not a judgmental thing. It's just this guy's gay.
No, it's just recognition of the energy that they put off.
This guy's gay, okay, or he's bi or whatever, but he definitely likes guys. But I didn't say anything, fucking whatever. What do I know? I don't have any proof. That's just my gut feeling, okay? Well, she moved to Florida. She got divorced. I reached out to her right when I started getting divorced, and she had no idea, and she was floored. Because she was good friends with my wife, and that's how she met her through me and blah, 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 blah. Couldn't believe it. And I said, well, Josh and I are coming down to Florida. I want to see you. So we drove down to Florida, and we met up with her, and she's real happy to see us. And just when we met her, we get into her car, and she goes, this isn't even 5 fucking minutes talking to her. Get in her car, and she goes, can you believe I caught my husband at the time with another man in bed? And I said, quite actually, yeah, I do. She's like, what? I'm like, I go, Stacy, I knew he was gay the moment I met him. And she goes, and you didn't say anything? I go, what the fuck am I supposed to say? My Chicago accent's coming out.
Right.
What the fuck am I supposed to say? I think the guy's gay, and I'm going to ruin the best day of your life because you're getting married to this guy? What the fuck?
Yeah.
And she goes, next time you tell me. I'm like, okay. There ain't gonna be a next time because she's so scorned by this thing. But I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll tell you next time. But what was I supposed to do?
Son and I. Yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do about that? It's like, how do you tell somebody, hey, I think the person that you're in a relationship with, I think they're batting for the wrong team there, dear. you know?
Could you imagine at the wedding, the priest says where he says, and if somebody doesn't approve of this, for speak now, forever hold your peace, or whatever they say.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stand up and go,
Yeah.
I met the guy and I think he's gay and he's a homo and I really don't think he should marry my friend. I mean, what are you supposed to say?
Yeah.
I mean, they would look at me like you are a complete fucking asshole.
Right.
It's like, you know what? Whatever. I didn't like my daughter marrying my son-in-law. I didn't like my son marrying his wife, which is an ex-wife. What are you supposed to do?
You know what my grandma told me whenever I was 18 and introduced her to who would eventually be my first husband? Her comment was, why does my opinion matter? You're the one that has to wake up with him every morning.
Exactly. That's right. That's right. That's what I told my son. I go, he was all smiles on his wedding day. And I said, he kind of asked me what I thought. And I didn't want to tell him that he's marrying a wrong woman. All I told him was, this is what I'm going to say to you. You're marrying your mother. And he goes, okay, I get that. I get that. I go, okay. Because what am I going to say? No. The kid was happier than I've ever seen him. And he just was witnessing the divorce between him and seeing his family destroyed. He wanted his own family. What am I going to say? Yeah. No, I don't think she's fucked up. Don't marry her. It ain't going to work out, which it didn't anyway. Thank God for his, he tried saving this girl. And it just, he wanted his own family. He saw what his mom and dad did. I pulled up my wife. I helped her, whether she admits it or not. And he saw that, so he thought he could do it too, and it was a huge mistake. But what am I going to say? Don't marry her?
Oh, yeah, you can't say anything because, number one, you could be dead wrong.
Well, that's
they
true.
could have ended up having an incredible marriage that lasted until the day they died.
Yeah. Well,
but at the same time, yes, it turned out you were right.
Yeah, and I hate being right.
But,
God, I hate being right.
I know there's times I absolutely hate being right all the time.
Yeah. Well, I'm not right all the time, and I know you're not saying that either, but I got a pretty good track record.
No, I was joking.
I know. I got a pretty good track record. So.
Yeah. But if you think about it, they always say that boys will marry somebody like their mother, and girls will marry somebody like their father.
Right.
Provided they've been around that person.
Or they'll marry their mother, which my son did, pretty much. Not to a T, but the same type of personality. And actually, she looked like my ex-wife when she was younger, and my mom brought that up. Because she looks like... my mom brought it up, and I'm like, oh, my God. I go, you're right. She does look like him when she was younger, whatever. Like, oh, my God.
Hey, if you think about it... That actually brings us back to the whole thing about when somebody is trying to overcome some kind of a trauma in their life, that they will seek out somebody who, not consciously, but unconsciously, they will seek out somebody who has those qualities in order to have another chance to deal with it in a different way.
Right.
And hopefully beat it that time.
Yep.
But that's part of the reason that we have those repeating cycles.
Whoa. Whoa, hang on a second. What did I do? Oh, my God, hang on. Stop. Wow. I was clicking on one of our videos that have 25 views, and it opened it, and I didn't even realize it. Sorry. Fuck.
Whoops.
Yeah.
That was funny. Welcome to live shows.
Oh, yeah. If
weird things happen.
If that's the worst thing I do, that'll be good. But, yeah, I saw we had 25 views from yesterday's show, so I double-clicked on it, and 2 likes, and I wanted to see who liked it, and it started playing the fucking thing, so I apologize for that one.
No worries. It happened.
Whatever. No, but you're right. You're trying to substitute that, and that's all you know, and blah 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 blah. You're right on the money with that one. So.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Do you think an hour and a half went by already?
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the clock too.
Yeah, but it don't feel like
you
it.
Go to work.
I don't feel like. Yeah, I do got to get to work, but it don't feel like it to me.
Well, it never does. But that's
crazy.
Because we're having fun while we're doing it. No matter what topics we talk about, we still have fun talking.
Well, I think so. I hope other people do, and I wish they would call. I mean, they would. This would be. There's only a very few percentage of people that'll call, and then they're worried about people might know, and it could be total anonymity, or they might feel like they're being judged, and that's the last thing that's going to happen here. Trust me on that one. You got to share this shit, man, because, I went through this and this whole sociopath thing. There's two types of people that there are in this. There's the ones that have been through it. Fuck, I've been drinking. Have been through it, and the ones that have not. And the ones that have not just don't. You might as well be talking another language to them because they're just not going to get it. But the people that have been through it, they'll put a smile on their face and they'll go, oh, my God. And I'm like, I'm not the only one that's been through this. And you're not.
No.
And
that's part of the reason we share is so that people know that they're not alone.
Right.
and that they aren't the ones that are crazy.
And there's nothing wrong with talking about it. I mean, if you don't want to talk about it on the show, that's perfectly fine. I don't care. The more that it gets out and the more that I talk about it, it's a type of therapy. It's not therapy, but it's a type, it's a type of banding of brothers thing or whatever. It's a band of brothers or sisters or fucking whatever. Transgenders, joke there. But it's like, listen, we're all people. We've been through this stuff. And people can resonate with you, and then you might actually help somebody that's going through this, and they don't understand what's going on.
And that honestly, when we have these kinds of discussions, that is my biggest hope. Is
right.
That we reach that one person that is currently going through it, and now they know they're not alone, and I want to put this out there that if any of our listeners are going through some kind of a trauma, please feel free to use our contact form and reach out to me. Those emails go to me, and I will happily be an ear, a shoulder, and I will virtually hug you, and I will be a sounding board for you if you have the courage to reach out to me, everybody needs to be able to talk about this stuff.
And I would say, in addition to that, and not in placement of, in addition to that, because that's really awesome that you're offering that. Get your ass to a fucking therapist.
Oh, please.
I'm going to share something.
Don't be embarrassed.
Well, not only don't be embarrassed, but make sure that they understand sociopathy. My mother has a master's in sociology. And I'm sitting here talking to her. I go, Ma, do you know what a sociopath is? Yes. Okay. Did you study them? No. A master in sociology. I'm like, Ma, get a book, watch some YouTube videos like the one I just played. I'm sure that educated people more than they ever knew about him or would want to know about him in a 10-minute frickin' video off of YouTube. It's like you're dealing with an alien species. I don't know what to tell you, but you better find a therapist, and I would say a psychologist that has experience in dealing with sociopaths, because they're not going to help you if they have no experience or knowledge of what these people are capable of doing, because when you're sharing your experience, there's not going to be any red flags if they don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to my mom all day long, and it's like, I feel like I'm talking to, and my mom's a very smart woman. Don't get me wrong. I'm not playing her down. Yeah. It's my mom, God damn it. But I just might as well be going blah 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 blah, and she's like and she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it, and she busted her ass to get her fucking her master's. She has a master's. So
it doesn't mean she can't still be blind to what's going on within her own world.
Well, that's what I told her, and my mom's been through hell and Al-Anon, and she wrote a book. So it's all public information to help people and share her experience. She's been through hell, and my grandfather molested her, and I thought he was the best guy on the fucking planet, and he's lucky he's dead, because I would have fucking killed him. So, and I don't mean that literally. I just mean that guy, when I was a kid, was the best person on the planet to me. And I would have knocked him on his ass. I wouldn't have killed him. So I'm just saying, he's dead anyway. Yeah. I'm not threatening anybody. But I'm just saying, to the severity that I would have definitely knocked him on his ass. So my mom has been through hell. But I might as well just start talking refrigeration and air conditioning to her when it comes to sociopaths, because she just doesn't get it.
Well, and unfortunately, it's like I said, it's you can know all about something, and be extremely intelligent, be very secure person, all that kind of stuff, and just not be able to really, quote unquote, see what's going on within your own four walls.
It just dumbfounds me that somebody could have a master's in sociology and not even get on the subject and learn about sociopath, whatever she called it.
Yeah, that
sociopathy.
It does blow my mind that they never went in depth into stuff like that. Because I mean, even in my sociology 101 course that I took, the very beginning course we talked about it.
Yeah, I don't get it. Why do doctors get a medical degree and they don't know jack shit about nutrition? I don't get that either. It's like, wait a minute. I got to eat healthy to stay healthy, but then when I'm not healthy, I go to the doctor. So I see you, and you don't know jack shit about fucking nutrition? What?
Yeah.
I'll just take this pill and call me in the morning. Okay. Thanks, Doc. It's amazing. Is it really that way because we're that stupid, or is it really that way for a reason?
Well, I mean, the medical industry is just that, an industry.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
It's no longer the Hippocratic Oath. It's how much money do I make off of these pills that I'm going to prescribe?
Yeah, they actually don't take the Hippocratic Oath anymore, and that's 20 years.
Really?
No. My what the hell was he? My Management 101 class at Elgin Community College in Elgin, Illinois. He was a former FBI agent, and then he was in the medical field, and then he was teaching at night, and he shared that doctors. No, wait a minute. Was that my pharmacology? See, I'm confused because you're going back 25 years. One of my teachers said, I think it was my pharmacology teacher, because my management teacher, that doesn't make sense. Pharmacology said that they don't even most of them don't take the Hippocratic Oath anymore, and that was over 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yep.
I thought that was something that was just a given. I didn't know they didn't do that anymore.
That's what he said. I can't confirm or deny it, but I'm trying to remember my pharmacology teacher. I remember my management teacher. One of them said it. It was either my Management 101 or my pharmacology class. The pharmacology class would make more sense for medical.
Yeah.
But we might have been talking about ethics, and it could have fallen into management. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, it came out of one of their mouths, I can tell you that. And I was shocked.
Well, yeah, I mean, as you can tell, I'm a little shocked at the moment.
Yeah.
Because that's just like, they don't.
I mean, you might want to do some homework on it.
I guess I won't be I won't be saying what about that Hippocratic Oath anymore.
I would look into it, because that was 20 plus years ago, probably 25, and it was prevalent back then. Yeah.
That's like totally blowing my mind.
Yeah, I still want to say it was my management class, because it's something he would say. My pharmacology teacher didn't really put an impression on me. Can't even remember who it was. But I don't know. But one of them said it. I was like, whoa. Whoa. So.
Okay, so although most do not swear to the original Hippocratic Oath, the majority of doctors do take an oath.
But so what? What?
Medical school.
I pledge to eat breakfast every morning.
Right.
What's the oath?
I pledge
to sell as many drugs
to Big Pharma.
Yeah, there, exactly. We're on the same page. I pledge to sell as many pills as I can to get my trip to Hawaii. What? Fucking whatever.
I will send you this link via text so you can take a look at it, just for your own info.
Okay.
Interesting. I'm not going to read through it all right now, but it's kind of a long article.
Yeah, you might be a little shocked, because to see that's kind of swaying it a little bit. It's like, do they or don't they? Don't give me a version of it's like the Constitution. Well, it's kind of like the Constitution. Fuck you. It's either the Constitution or it's not. It's either the hypocritical oath or it's not. Don't go in the gray area with it.
Yeah.
Because you're just rationalizing it, and that pisses me off. I'm not saying you. Just saying that pisses me off when they start phrasing shit like that.
Oh, it does me too.
Yeah. Do they or don't they? That's all I want to know. Very abstract.
Yeah.
Not, well, they used to, but and you're getting fucked now, and they really don't care about you, and you're going to die, but who cares? No. I don't want to worry about that. Whatever. It's like it all stays here when I leave, but it comes out when I'm here, and it stays here for other people. They can look at that. I'm not here to tell you how to think or even inform you, or maybe inform you, but not not tell you what to do. You just figure it out yourself. So
a quick note on the whole Hippocratic Oath thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, the modern version was written in 1964 by Professor Lasagna.
That wasn't long ago. That's when I was born. Fuck. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
And he was at the School of Medicine at Tufts University.
So it was created and abandoned allegedly in my lifetime. That's crazy.
Yeah.
55 years.
The modern one.
And they were talking about it 25 years ago. So whatever that is, when I was 30. That's insane.
Well, I mean, I would have been 25, so.
Yeah, 30. Yeah, because I was going to school right about then, and I started my business at 33. Yeah, that's about right. Wow. Fuck. Okay, whatever. All right. Well, that's something for people to ponder, and then you too. You got a little bit of homework on top of all the other shit if you really want to look into it. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, that's on them. But I don't go to the doctor unless I'm dying. So.
Oh, you and me both.
Yeah. Yep. So, there you go. So, all right. Well, I'm going to let you go because that's an hour. It's almost 2 hours again. This is crazy. So. We're going to have to start earlier.
Change our time to 6 to 8.
Well, no, because we're slow right now, so I can get away with this. But I really got to have my ass on the road by 7. And I know you're kidding, but I'm just saying. If anything, it'll start at 5. So I can't go to. Yeah, right. Yeah, and I'm really not. I have a problem with 6 a.m., let alone 5. So
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm getting up at 5, so that means I'd have to get up at 4 to do this fucking show that I don't get paid for, and I pay, and I'm not complaining, and nobody calls in. So what the fuck? Really?
And if we go even earlier, it'll be even worse.
Yeah, exactly. And why am I doing this? Whatever. I don't care. Hey, if we help one person, it's all worth it. So that's it.
Oh yeah, that's how I look at life in general. If I make one person's life better throughout my lifetime, then my life was worth it.
Yeah, I've had actually people. It was my cousin, and then I'll definitely go. But he'd listen to me, and he's on a farm and everything else, and he was I think he was like 350 pounds. And I called him on the phone because he's my cousin and family, so just checking in once in a while. And he goes, you know what? Because of you, I'm under 300 pounds and I've been working out. And I said, are you fucking kidding me? I go, you're giving me that credit? He goes, yeah, I am. I'm like, wow, I guess I am doing some good things for people. But I don't know that. Nobody tells me. So
that's every day. If somebody makes a difference in your life, let them know it. Because just like you just said, you have no idea what effect you have.
Right.
And I always try to take the opportunity if somebody has changed my mind or done something to change my perspective or make my day better.
Yep.
I always try to thank you, You saying that just totally did something for me. Well,
I might have saved the guy's life. I mean, and it's not going to my head. he's family, he's my cousin, and just like anybody else, I hope they're healthy and happy and whatever. But he even admitted that it was starting to affect his health and his mobility and that, and he was just too fucking fat, you know? So he did something about it because of me talking about healthy stuff and working out and boxing and all the things I do, which, depending on who's listening to it, oh, you're just showing off because, you know, you're in good shape and blah, blah, blah. So no, I'm not, asshole. I'm doing and sharing things that work for me, and they may work for you. So it's to inspire you, not for me to look better than you or whatever.
No.
So it's like,
no, you do things like that for yourself, not for anybody else.
Yeah.
Which, by the way,
what?
I'm seriously thinking, okay, so I have access to a couple of different exercise programs.
Yeah.
PX90 is the only one I recognize.
P90X.
On the list.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about trying it. I know it'll kill me to start it.
Yep.
But because I can do it on my TV in my living room, and I don't have to actually go out in public and be around people.
Right.
I'm seriously thinking about trying it and just sticking with it, and doing lower levels of what they show to get myself into it.
All right, this is what I'll say. P90X is an ass-kicking. Tony Horton, I hate him, but I love him. Okay?
I do too.
Yeah. So if you understand that, then because every time I did it, I'd yell at the TV because he's a fucking asshole. Okay, but it's a very intense, very result-oriented program. But I would start with P90X3.
Okay.
Because I've done all of them, and the one I like the most is the P90X3. Because P90X is an ass kicker. And then this is what happened to me. I did the yoga disc, and I literally threw my back out. But my back...
Oh, crap.
Yeah, but my back is prone, if I do some weird things, and apparently, unbeknownst to me, some weird bends in yoga, I throw my back out. And it put me in therapy with my chiropractor. That's how bad it was. But I would do all the P90X3, and I would do it at your own pace.
That's the one it is. I just pulled it up on my TV, and it's the 3.
Yes, that is a phenomenon.
That's something, having fibro, I have to be really careful about my movement.
With your nerves and stuff?
Well,
joints?
Okay, one of the things about fibro is it's actually the connective tissues.
All right, so tendons
issue.
and ligaments and stuff?
I've thrown my joints out.
Yeah, okay.
So I have to be very careful about how I exercise,
right.
Which is why I've always done free weights, because I have more control over what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I'm going to check it out.
I think
and see if I can handle it.
P90X 3 would be great, and then when you're done with that, then you might want to move into free weights. I wouldn't start with free weights. That's just me, because that's how I got back into it, was through P90X 3, and then I went into the weights. So.
Well, see, I've always done free weights.
Well, that's
since
fine.
High school.
That's fine. Well, then it can be in addition to what you're doing, but regardless.
Well, I don't have them now.
Well,
I would
that's
have to
what
go
I.
to the gym
Okay,
to
well,
do that, and that requires being in public around people.
Okay, so you're me then, because that's what I did. I've been slinging weights since I was 15 years old. But I'm saying, to get back into it, for sticking to the conversation in real time here, you're trying to get back into something. I would do P90X3, and then when you're done with that shit, then get back into the weights, or start throwing weights in while you're getting back in shape for P90X. Because let me tell you something. At this age, if you just go right back into weights, you might hurt something.
Oh, I know how to do it properly.
I do too, but I tore my bicep off my fucking shoulder. I know how to work out too. And I don't think that's an age thing, because I've heard 20, 30-year-olds ripping their biceps right out, their bones off their muscles. So I don't know what it is, but it happens to everybody. But that kind of made me a little bit more cautious in what I'm doing. So.
Yeah, I have my little light weights here at the house. So once to get through the whole video or program, then I'll add my little light weights.
I'll tell you this too. I was never a band workout bands fan until I did P90X3. And I have one hanging on my door I'm looking at right now, and I do an ab exercise that is so productive just with those bands. So don't underestimate bands.
Oh, I don't. I have 2 sets of them.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, see, you're better than I am because I'm like, fuck those things. And they're great. Bands are great. So
yeah, it's the resistance.
Right. You got the constant resistance on there.
Yeah, with my physical issues, I found that bands were less impact or stress on my body.
Right. Well, maybe we'll do a workout segment, and I'll be Arnold the whole time, and you're just a big fucking loser, asshole. Hello. She's gone. Why does she always hang up at the end of the show when it's not over? But yeah, we're going to have a workout thing now. Asshole. Asshole, I'll be back. You know, it sounds different in the headphones than when I do it without a mic coming back into my headphones. Because it doesn't sound the same, but no, maybe it is. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I will do workout and things like that. And just kick your ass. Asshole. Asshole. All right, she going to call back or not? If not, I'm ending the show. All right, I'm ending the show. All right, so thanks for listening to me. And I don't know. That's a lot of things. I don't really want to rehash the sociopath thing, but it came up yesterday, and then I just think people should have the knowledge or awareness, and you can do what you want with it. Me personally, I went through it. I'll never go through it again. God damn it. Hello?
Hey.
You always hang up right
Not quite
before
sure.
the end of the show.
Pardon?
You always hang up right before the end of the show.
I don't know what happened.
I know, it's weird.
Just totally lost you, and your video is buffering.
Yeah, big shocker. It's been doing that from the beginning. I don't know.
I think this time it was your fault, not mine, though.
Well,
because I'm not on that phone today.
Yeah, you just dropped out. I didn't touch nothing. That's weird. I don't know.
Weird.
But anyway.
Well, maybe you gotta go to work anyway.
Yeah, I do too, and we'll talk about exercise and all that stuff too. And I want to get somebody on. I had my boxing instructor on here, and she's got certification and everything. Maybe I'll get her back on. But I love talking about that stuff too.
Okay. I gotta say, I think it's awesome you have a female boxing instructor. That is so freaking awesome.
Oh, she's like 5 foot tall, but she's a badass. I mean, she's
awesome, and she's little.
Well, the reality of all of it is that there's only me and another guy, and the rest of them are women.
I was wondering if the videos you showed were like of the actual people that are in your gym.
They are.
That is so cool.
Yeah. No, it's great. And there's not a lot of it's kind of like body pump and boxing combined. And there's not really a lot of gyms that are doing that to my knowledge, or at least not Loveland, Colorado. She's the only one that's doing it like that. And yeah, I mean, I've learned so much.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, I've learned so much. I can't even tell you. There's so much so that I want to get certified to be involved in it. So.
Yeah,
it's great.
That is freaking awesome. And I love the fact because it's so empowering for women.
Right.
And so to hear that, number one, the teacher is a woman, and that most of the class is a woman, is female.
Right.
It's just, I love it.
Yeah, she's something else. She's a firecracker, and she started her own business last August. So August is going to be here before you know it, and that'll be her year anniversary being in business. But yeah, very knowledgeable, very inspiring, just really good. And you're right, it brings up the confidence of women, because there's some women now in there that I wouldn't want to get hit by. I'm serious. Some of their
that just totally brought back a memory.
some of the right hooks I wouldn't want anybody to get hit by.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
So back when I left my first husband, the apartment complex I moved into had a little gym in it.
Yep.
and he wanted to come over and talk about our divorce. And I'm like, that's fine, but I'm on a schedule and I got to work out while we talk. And so he came over, and at the end of it, I'll never forget the look on his face. He's like, man, I ain't ever messing with you again.
Smart man. Yep. Yeah, women can be badasses, man. I don't care. If you get into boxing, but women's, in my opinion, women's true weapons are their legs. If you can learn how to kick, you got such an extension on a guy. And if you just start out boxing and they think that you're going to box them and you just hit them with a roundhouse or a side kick to the head, it's over, man. I mean, it's like,
oh yeah,
yeah. I would like to see that incorporated into what we do. And I have some martial arts. I don't have black belts, but I have experience in belts in different arts and forms. And I would like to get back into that just for me. Because, man, I'll tell you what, when you get limber and you bring that leg around to kick somebody, you're going to hurt them.
Oh, heck
really
yeah.
Yeah, really bad. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. But women don't have upper body strength. But legs, I think women, for the most part, have stronger legs than men do. So.
I would tend to agree with you. Back when I was, going to a gym,
mm-hmm.
and doing the free weights and all that stuff. Of course, they had the leg machines, and one of my favorite one was the one where you lay on your back,
mm-hmm.
and you press up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was always amazed at the amount of weight that I could actually do on that.
Yep. Yeah, women have great leg strength. They do. So.
Oh, that could go to a bad place.
I understand. I know. I don't want to go down that road, but they do. I mean, just probably not much less than men. So, but and most of them want to work on their butt and all that shit anyway. So there you go. It's all good. So.
Yep.
But all right, well, we can talk about that tomorrow. I'll talk to Anna tonight and see if she wants to come back on here and. She's going to go.
Oh, that would be so cool.
What time do I have to get out? Are you fucking crazy? That's what she's going to say. No, she's great. And if she did say that, it wouldn't surprise me, but she wouldn't. But that's how she is. She just tells it like it is. That's why I get along with her so well. But or if there's no spot open, we can shove it in, one evening. I don't know. Whatever we got to do.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, in all reality, I mean, we can, as long as the schedule allows for it,
right?
We can do shows whenever we want. So.
Well, we'll look at time slots because she's going to ask, well, when, and I'm going to go, well, let me find out when, and because I know she isn't going to want it. Actually, she teaches boxing now, quite honestly, so she can't do it. So it's going to have to be at night. So.
Okay.
We'll figure something out.
We can work something out.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I'll bring it up to her again because last time I interviewed you, it was just her and I on my podcast, but this will be different now because you'll be there and it'll just be better for sure. So.
Oh, I think it'll be awesome.
Yep.
I'm anxious to start having guests on here.
I was going to say you sound motivated and excited to talk to her. So I mean, you two, it probably just turned into a fucking chick conversation, and I'll just be like.
Right. We'll just ignore you.
Are you still there, Tim?
Yeah. Huh? What?
So.
Just sit in your corner and behave.
No, that'll be great. Yeah, exactly. Yes, dear.
Shut up, Tim.
Shut up. Yes, dear. You guys can talk about your shit, and then if you're getting into it and other women are thinking about it, then that's great. That's perfect. So.
Yeah, I would love to have her on the show and hopefully drive some women out there in the Denver area over to her.
Well,
get them started, get them involved.
Well, she needs it, and it's worth the drive. Trust me. And it's right off 287 in south side of Loveland, and Third Avenue in Loveland. But it would be definitely worth it. So she'd appreciate that too. So it'll be good for everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you in the morning. So I really got to get the fuck out of here. I can't believe it. It's been over 2 hours. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you have a great day.
You too. All right. Thanks, Melissa. Bye. Oh, I cut her off a little bit. All right, so I got to go. I really got to go. I got to go to work. Share the show. Yeah, I'll get on here and bring her in. That'll be in. She'll be officially our first guest, I guess. I don't know. And we'll go from there. So I'm just trying to make you think different, figure things out, and try to protect yourself from all the evil in the world. You have been listening to the original Red Pill Show. Bye.